Welcome to Copilot Podcasts. You know that AI tool you're using to analyze patient scans? Well, here's a scary thought. Who's legally responsible if it makes a mistake? Today, we're diving deep into the medical legal maze of AI in healthcare. You'll learn exactly where liability falls, how to protect yourself, and what the future holds for AI regulation in medicine.
And it's a crucial topic right now. According to recent data, about 3 in 5 physicians are already using AI in their practice as of 2024.
Wait, that many? That's actually higher than I expected.
Yeah, and here's what's interesting. While AI adoption is growing rapidly, there's this huge gap in understanding the legal implications. The FDA has authorized around 1,000 AI-powered medical devices, but we're still figuring out the liability framework.
So we're basically building the plane while flying it?
That's actually a pretty good analogy. And it gets more complicated because different states are starting to implement their own AI regulations.
You know what's really interesting? I read that 31.2% of physicians have been sued for malpractice in their careers, and that's before AI even entered the picture.
Right, and that statistic is particularly relevant because AI adds a whole new layer of complexity to malpractice cases.
So let's break this down. What exactly are physicians legally responsible for when using AI?
Well, according to the Federation of State Medical Boards, physicians are ultimately responsible for ensuring the accuracy of AI-supported decisions, just like with any other medical tool.
But that seems kind of unfair. I mean, if the AI makes a mistake, how can the doctor be responsible for that?
It's actually similar to how we handle other medical technologies. The physician needs to verify the AI's output and use their clinical judgment.
Mm-hmm.
But here's where it gets interesting. Some insurance companies are actually considering offering discounted premiums to practices that use certain AI tools effectively.
Wait, really? Why would they do that?
Because when used properly, AI can actually reduce medical errors. It's like having an extra layer of verification.
That reminds me of how home insurance companies give discounts for security systems.
Exactly. And speaking of security, let's talk about the FDA's role in all this.
Please do, because I'm still trying to wrap my head around who regulates what.
So in January 2025, the FDA issued their first guidance specifically about AI use in drug and biological product development.
That seems pretty recent.
It is, and it shows how quickly this field is evolving. The FDA is focusing on what they call model credibility, basically, how much we can trust an AI system for a specific use.
And what about state regulations? Are they different?
Yes, and that's actually one of the biggest challenges. Healthcare organizations operating in multiple states need to navigate different sets of rules.
Sounds like a nightmare for compliance teams.
You know, it reminds me of the early days of electronic health records when we were dealing with similar liability questions.
Oh, interesting parallel. How so?
Well, initially, there was a lot of uncertainty about who was liable for EHR errors, the software vendor, the hospital, or the physician. We're seeing the same pattern with AI.
So what should physicians do right now to protect themselves?
The most important thing is documentation. Document your reasoning when you agree or disagree with AI recommendations.
That makes sense.
And make sure you're using FDA-authorized AI tools when they're available. The FDA has cleared about 1,000 AI-powered medical devices so far.
But what about all the AI tools that aren't FDA authorized?
That's where it gets tricky. If you're using non-authorized AI tools, you're taking on more liability risk. But here's something counterintuitive. AI can actually both increase and decrease your malpractice risk simultaneously.
Okay, you've lost me. How does that work?
Well, it increases risk because it's a new technology that can malfunction, but it decreases risk because it can catch errors that humans might miss.
That's fascinating.
And the key is finding the right balance. The AMA has actually created a framework for this, focusing on ethics, evidence, and equity.
Can you break that down a bit?
Sure. The ethics part is about ensuring AI is used responsibly. Evidence means making sure it actually works, and equity ensures it benefits all patients fairly.
Got it. And what about patient consent? Do doctors need to tell patients they're using AI?
According to recent ethical guidelines, yes. Patients should be informed about AI use in their care, especially for major clinical decisions.
That makes sense.
And consent should be dynamic, meaning it needs to be revisited as AI applications evolve.
Let's talk about the future. Where do you see this heading?
Well, the FDA has recently shifted its focus from regulating industry's use of AI to how the agency itself uses AI.
That's an interesting shift.
Yes, they've even introduced an AI tool called ELSA to help with clinical protocol reviews and scientific evaluations.
So the regulators are using AI to regulate AI?
Exactly. It's a sign of how deeply AI is becoming integrated into healthcare at every level.
What about smaller practices? How can they keep up with all these changes?
That's a crucial question. The key is to start small and focus on well-established FDA-authorized AI tools first,
Makes sense.
and always have a clear protocol for when to override AI recommendations. Remember, the physician's judgment is still paramount.
That seems to be the key message here. AI is a tool, not a replacement for clinical judgment.
Exactly. And that's actually what helps protect physicians legally, documenting when and why they deviate from AI recommendations.
So what's your biggest piece of advice for physicians right now?
Stay informed about AI regulations, but don't let fear of liability prevent you from adopting beneficial AI tools.
Right, because not using AI could eventually become a liability risk itself.
Precisely. If an AI tool becomes the standard of care, not using it could be considered negligent.
That's a really important point.
And we're already seeing this shift. Some specialties are starting to consider AI-assisted diagnosis as part of their standard protocols.
So when you step back from all this, what's the big picture?
The big picture is that AI in medicine is inevitable, but its success depends on finding the right balance between innovation and safety.
And understanding the legal framework is crucial for that balance.
Exactly. It's about being proactive rather than reactive when it comes to AI adoption and liability.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode of Copilot Podcasts. Remember, when it comes to AI in medicine, the key is not to avoid it, but to use it wisely and document everything. Your future self and your lawyer will thank you.